Read the story. Quan Âm Thị Kính. Once upon a time, there was a man who had experienced many lives, every life from childhood to adulthood. He kept virtue and became a true monk. Reincarnation like that up to 9 times in a row, but none of them have become Buddhas. In her 10th life, this person was born in the country of Sao Li as a daughter in a family of the Mang family, named Thị Kính. She looks plump, has a good-looking face, and a calm personality. Growing up, she worshipped her parents wholeheartedly, taking care of the housework quite well. When she reached the age of marriage, she was married by her parents to a student surnamed Sung named Thien Si. Just like the wife's family, the husband's family is not well off. Seeing that her husband studied hard and did not play around, Thị Kính did not wish for anything more. She went to work harder for her husband to cook boiling history. One night, next to the letter, Thien Si sat reading a book. Thị Kính also sat on one side. The two of them lit an oil lamp together. The husband felt tired after studying, so he leaned back on the bed, put his head on his wife's knee to talk for a while and then fell asleep. Thị Kính tried to keep quiet for her husband to sleep peacefully. She had time to look closely at her husband's handsome face. Suddenly, she realized that there was a beard growing backwards on her husband's chin. "Oh, why do you have such an ugly beard? It is said that an inverted beard is an evil general. I have to secretly spit it out for him." Thinking so, with the tweezers in the sewing box, Thị Kính immediately took it and opened it to pluck out the beard. Unexpectedly, the shiny blade was just brought closer and Thien Si suddenly woke up, seeing his wife holding a knife pointed at his face while he suddenly fell asleep. Thien Si immediately thought of the darkness and got up and grabbed his wrist and shouted, "Damn it! Are you going to kill me with a knife while I'm sleeping?" Thị Kính replied, "It's not. Seeing him with an ingrown beard, I decided to pull it out or it would look ugly." But in a moment of doubt and panic, the husband definitely refused to believe it. "Come on, don't be cleverly resisting. How can we pull out our beards when we are sleeping? If you want to spit, wait for me to wake up, or is it better to have a face during the day?" Meanwhile, Thien Si's mother lying in the next room heard the sound of arguing and also pushed the door and walked in. As soon as she heard her son tell the story, the mother said, "Oh my God! This girl is really bold. Dare to do shitty things. Fortunately, my child woke up in time, otherwise there would be no life left." Thị Kính burst into tears trying to explain. "Think about it. Why do you have to do that? It's just that I want to make my husband beautiful. Obviously, you intend to kill your husband. You have been arrested for 2 years and 10 years but still refuse to sneak loose." Thien Si's mother didn't like her daughter-in-law, so she poured it out. Thị Kính saw that the presentation was never lost, so she sat down and bowed her head and sobbed. The story from the child is torn out to big. In the end, the Sung family did not want their children and grandchildren to have a cruel race, so Thị Kính was sent back to her biological parents' house. Bored with her fate, one day she disguised herself as a boy, took the night to leave home, wrapped up and left. She went forever, trying to find a place far away from her homeland to erase the painful memories. Finally, she went to another province, where there was Van Pagoda. She came to ask for a head of refuge. The monk didn't know it was a girl, so he accepted it as a pea, named Kin Tam. Life has extinguished the fire of her heart. Since then she has been reassured that her friends don't care. But not long after practicing at Van Pagoda, something new happened to her. Although dressed in brown, the face of the new little uncle made the hearts of many village girls sob. In the village, there is Thi Mu, the daughter of a rich man. On the days when she went to the temple to see little Kin Tam, she secretly fell in love. 2 or 3 times rejected, Mu became more and more infatuated, the more she tried to find a way to seduce. After that, even though the fish didn't bite, she still couldn't forget her uncle. Familiar with the habit of Moonflower, Mu then went to communicate with a male servant in the house. After many times of walking, I didn't expect my belly to get bigger and bigger. Being punished by the village, the girl thought that if she was honest, it would not be good, so she blamed it on little Kin Tam. Therefore, little Kin Tam was also asked by the village to come to investigate. But despite being beaten to pieces, she still did not dare to take the risk nor reveal herself as a girl. The monk of Van Pagoda saw that Tiu was hurt, so he felt sorry, begged the village to hand over the bluff, guaranteeing Xiao to be spared. But he was afraid that his mouth would be sarcastic and disreplace the name of the Zen sect, so the monk also forced Xiao to set up a tent to live outside the temple gate. She was committed to this torture, gritting her teeth without a word of begging or lament. Mu then gave birth to a boy. Having dumped little Kin Tam, she took her child to take the risk at the gate of Tam Quan. Kin Tam was confused again. Accepting the baby is no different from an act of confession, but if you don't accept it, you can't ignore an innocent child like that. But the baby's crying made her lose all hesitation. She immediately carried the baby into the tent to take care of it, and since then a new job has taken up her time and mind. She has to carry him to beg for milk at the end of the village at the end of the neighborhood. Despite the villagers who laughed and criticized her, she still silently endured, absolutely not taking a word of complaint. Just like that, after 6 years, she takes care of people like children. While the baby grew up, her strength, on the contrary, was getting tired. One day, knowing that she could not live anymore, little Kin Tam wrote an envelope to leave for her biological parents, in which she told the beginning and end of her patience. Tell the child to give the letter back to the monk at the temple after he died. When she was buried, everyone just heard that little Kin Tam was a woman, and everyone noticed that her suffering so far was extremely extreme. To show her regret, the monk of Van Pagoda set up a vegetarian group to pray for her to transcend the purity. The villagers also forced Mu to mourn and make her pay all the expenses. On the day of the fasting ceremony, in the sky, in the midst of a 5-color cloud, Buddha Thien Tun appeared and preached to Kin Tam to become Guanyin Buddha. Nowadays, to refer to the great injustice, people often say, the injustice of Kin, which comes from this story. Lessons learned. The virtue of gentleness, patience. Despite going through many reincarnations and suffering many injustices, Kin still maintains the virtue of gentleness and patience. In life, people need to practice kindness and patience to overcome difficulties and challenges. Noble qualities of a woman. Tan algae, dang dang. Kin is a woman who is ang algae, dang dang dang, always takes care of her family. Loving her children. Despite being wronged, Kin still gives love to a child who is not her child. Belief in fairness. Buddhism. The story affirms the fairness of the law of cause and effect. Those who do evil will have to pay the price, and those who do good will be rewarded. Despite going through many difficulties, Kin still maintained her faith in life and finally achieved enlightenment. Overcome difficulties. Although Kin has been wronged many times, she always keeps her will, is steadfast, and overcomes difficulties. The story inspires us to overcome difficulties and challenges in life.